day, everyone. Let's just get after it here. I just want to share a few things with you. Woke up this morning, did some praying early this morning, and after completing prayer, I just wrote some things down. What came across my mind? Sorry about that. It's been a long, very long day. Thank God it is Friday, but I want to talk to you about selfishness versus selflessness. We're living in a time now where we're in the last days, and of course, men are lovers of themselves. When I say men, I mean men and women, boys and girls, mankind, the human race. And so, uh, I just wanted to share some things because we need to get out of ourselves, get out of God's way, and esteem others higher than ourselves. I've said this many times before. So let's talk about Jesus. Um, just to open up for starters. So let's go to Isaiah. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Trying to get this in before the day is out. A really long day. But anyway, I wanted to make sure I get this out. So it's Isaiah chapter 53, verse 7. It says, He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb. So he opened not his mouth. And even when Jesus was on the cross, when they were tossing him, he could have come down from that cross. But I'm glad he didn't. He took on the sin of the world. And Jesus showed us how to be selfless. Again, folks, we just need to be selfless and not selfish. So I'm just going to read, because I was writing some things down, and I find this better because I want to make sure I hit all points that came to me this morning. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm yawning, but anyway, I'm just going to read straight from what I typed up this morning. So many times we think life is about us. This life is not about us. Our lives should point people to Jesus. It's not about us. It's about Jesus. This is not about you. It's not about me. I love that song, but it's about Jesus. So, while praying this morning, I thought about my dad. And I'm just going to read what I typed, okay? And just kind of go back and forth here and talk to you guys. I thought about my dad. I cannot imagine what he was going through while fighting cancer. Sometimes we become selfish while being a caregiver. Now, mind you, my parents actually, yeah, they were 80 at the time. Excuse me. And I can't even imagine what he was going through, nor my mom, because they're 80. I thank God, hallelujah, that, God did grant him a long life. And I thank God that my mother's still with us in her right mind. This lady I remember passed by after the 2 hurricanes. My mom, in her early 80s, I mean, she is still washing her own car, getting on ladders. I'm like, Mom, please don't do that. But this lady said, tell your mama she encouraged me, because this is a younger woman, and to see my mom do all of that, encourage her. But anyway, getting back on point. Excuse me. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm just so tired. But anyway, not tired. I guess I'm more sleepy than tired. It's been a long day. But anyway, I remember my dad asking for certain things to eat. But when you would bring it to him, he would either take a taste and said, I'll eat it later, or he didn't want it at all. I cannot even imagine what it was like for him to want to eat but cannot eat, or eating and the food does not taste like it normally tastes. My dad loved to eat. He loved to eat. Oh my goodness, Dad would eat throughout the day, but he would burn it off because they were just always active. And just to see my dad become bed bound. I think that was really the most devastating thing for him, because he was always an active person on the go, not to be able to do the things he used to do. But I'm saying all that to say this. As a caregiver, we all helped out. My older sister's the only one that lives in the same city with my parents, so thank God, she was there to help. But during the night, my mom, was there taking care of my dad. But so I know she would be tired. And I'd go every month and to help out. But as a caregiver, even though it can be tiresome, it's like sometimes we're thinking about how tired we are, but forgetting about the person who is actually going through um, that illness. And again, it's easy. And let me just read what I wrote. I cannot imagine what it was like to want to eat but can't taste the food or cannot eat, which I said earlier. Now, as the person cooking the food or going to buy the food, it can become tiresome, but you can't make it about you. It is meeting the needs of the person you are caring for. So if you are a caregiver or if you have been a caregiver, you know exactly what I am talking about. It can be, really, excuse me, taxing, and it's a change of lifestyle. So, when you're caring for someone, everyone who can do their part needs to do their part. So, I would go to relieve my mom, my sister, just for her to get out of the house, because, being in the house all day and not doing anything. Go out, get you some fresh air, go and get your nails done, or do something just to pamper you, because when someone is giving care to someone, they need a break as well. So you have to think about what that person is going through as well. But most importantly, the person who you are caring for. Because so many times people go through things, and if it's not affecting us, we just go on about our lives, and we don't think about what the person who is sick is going through, how they are feeling. And I think about that all of the time. I've said it before, like even this younger couple, um, the young lady's husband had a stroke. And I can't even imagine what this woman has been through and is still going through. She is taking care of her husband. Now imagine you're caring for her husband. Life has changed. You guys can't really have that intimacy anymore. They did everything together, but her husband is no longer he doesn't have his legs anymore. He's on dialysis, and a lot of times we just go on about our lives and don't think about what other people are going through or reaching out to see what we can do to help. So every now and then, I think it's maybe weekly, definitely monthly, but I check on her quite often, say, hey, how's it going? Is there anything you need? Something I can do? Or just to encourage her. But a lot of times people, and, it's not that we were close-knit or anything, but, I knew them, and we would talk a lot. But sometimes you have real close friends, and then when you aren't able to do the things you used to do with them, like if your spouse become immobilized or disabled or anything, a lot of times those friends, they don't take the time to come and see about you or give you a break, like, hey, can I come in, I'm going to come and cut your yard, knowing that the lady's husband is not able to take care of their yard, or anything like that. Now thank God they have children, but I'm saying it's still good to reach out and let people know, hey, I care about you. I mean, I can't imagine what you're going through. Or just someone to talk to, just to have, or not even talk to, but maybe just be an ear for her to, just talk. Again, I'm just saying all that because a lot of times I was thinking about this thing, is that we are just so selfish, and everything is about us, especially when it comes to jobs and relationships. Think about in relationships. In a relationship, it's like give and take. It shouldn't be just one always giving, 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 and the other always taking, taking. In a relationship, it should be reciprocated, right? Um, don't just make your relationship about what that person can do for you, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a mother-daughter relationship, a father-son, or vice versa. I'm just saying relationships in general. A lot of times people are in relationship with others for what they can get, especially when it comes to us women. Yes, I'm going to put us on blast like that, especially when it comes to women. It's all about what the man can do for you and vice versa. The man thinking about what the woman can do for him. But for the most part, I must say, a lot of times women marry men because they want to be taken care of or to help pay their bills or things like that. And I'm not saying that's always the case. But again, when it comes to relationships, we can't be selfish and always want to be on the receiving end, especially for things like Valentine's Day, anniversaries. But specifically, what came to me is the Valentine's Day, because women always want to get the chocolate and candy. But what about giving something to the man? Women, wives, you can give your husband a Valentine's Day gift. You can send him flowers, maybe. Men don't really say a lot, but I'm sure it makes them happy when you think about them enough to surprise them with a gift, surprise them with just because. It should not always be just the woman wanting to receive, but also the man should be able to receive as well. I was just thinking about a lot of things because it's just so, um, that's just the tradition, I guess, here in this country, on Valentine's Day, the woman always wanting to get. And even for anniversaries, it's both of you anniversaries. It's not just the woman, so not just the woman should get, but the man should receive as well. Uh, then another thing I thought about was on jobs, and I think about that because I have a when I take on a job, I look at it as ministry. I'm like, God, whatever you have me here for at this time, because like I said, my life is not revolved around a job. My source is God. A job is just a resource, but I know who is my source. But just different things. I like to observe people. And when I was working for a pharmacy benefit manager, I remember I was taking a lot of calls where I would help people resolve their claims and be able to get their medication or to see what was going on. But a lot of my colleagues, I can tell um, by listening to them or when I've taken calls, when a person has called about the same thing about 3 or 4 times, is that people are not taking the time to listen to what the patient is saying and what the patient is needing. All they are concerned about is uh, getting them off their phone line. And you're not helping them. We should be able to put ourselves in people's places and treat them the way you would want to be treated. And if you do that, then you will always have happy. Well, I wouldn't say always happy because some people are never going to be satisfied. But when I hear you complaining about somebody calling about their medication that they need, this is the job you took to help patients. And now you have the audacity to complain because they're calling and asking questions about their benefits or why they can't get their medication. And you have the audacity to get upset. That's your job. But because it's affecting you and you don't want to go through maybe having to document whatever, it may take a lot of work on that particular call to help that patient. But this is what your job entails. So it really gets under my skin when I hear colleagues treating people a certain way or complaining, this is what you're getting paid to do. It's amazing that people want to get a check, but they don't want to do the job. And to me, that's a great example of being selfish, because all you are thinking about you is that, oh, how much time this call is going to take. I have to go through all of this. You are being really selfish because you're just thinking about you. But you're not thinking about the patient who is calling in, or the member who is calling in, who is who is fighting some kind of sickness or maybe in pain and can't get their medication, and you have the nerves to get upset because they're calling for help. If they were not our members, then we would not have a job. And I'm just so tired of hearing people complain about things, and about either if it's a member or a client or patient calling in, you have the nerves to be upset. This is your job, to serve that person and make sure that person's need is met. And you, if it was you, you wouldn't want anyone to treat you the way you are treating them. Or if it was your mother calling in, or your father. That's how you have to look at things. And it's time for us to stop being so selfish. Um, that's really basically all I wanted to share about, being more selfless and not selfish. And I'm going to go to what Paul was talking about. I love this, in 2 Corinthians 12:15. Okay, so Second Corinthians 12:15. I love it. It says, "And I will very gladly spend and be spent for you, though the more abundantly I love you, the less I be loved." It's like Paul, he loved people, he spent himself for people, but this is what I'm saying, and this is where, when you have to know, it's not about you, but it's about what God would have you to do. Your life is not about you. And we need to get out of having a pity party, like, oh, why me? I'm going through all this. Listen, trouble, nobody's exempt from trouble. But the more you do for people, it seems like the less they appreciate you. But think about it this way. You are working for God. That's how you look at it. Because if it was working for people, trust me, I wouldn't be doing it. But God, I'm working as if I'm working on to you. And that's the delight. Because you know what? People are flaky. People, um, it depends on if they love that you are doing what they want you to do, and it's making it easy for them, they love you. But at the moment you can't do what they want you to do, that you can't do what they want you to do, then they get upset with you. Like I said, one day they are praising you, the next day they are cursing you. So I'm just saying, be selfless, work as if you're working on to the Lord. And if you are taking care of someone, um, or even if you're not, it's like I try to consider others, especially, let's say, in a relationship. I may have had a hard day, my husband may have had a hard day, so you have to think about it. Things can wait. Sometimes people just need to decompress after a long day, and they don't want to be bothered with stuff, maybe household things or issues or whatever. Sometimes you have to think about, well, this person may not feel like, talking about that right now. It's just being considerate of others, esteeming others higher than yourselves. And again, we just have to stop being so selfish, uh, and stop making everything about us. And the last thing I just wanted to mention, what I wrote here, is that I thank God for those who were so selfless and fought to abolish slavery. And it was black and white people alike. Selfish people only care about themselves and not for the best interests of others. So I am so thankful for those who paved the way for someone with the color of my skin, where I can thank God that I am not no one's slave. Um, and that's just a whole nother topic. And while we're on that, and I'm talking to my white brothers and sisters, so A lot of times people don't want things to change if it benefits them. And yes, slavery benefited white people because the slaves did all of the work. You had it easy. So a lot of times people don't want things to change because they are selfish, because if it caters to them, they don't want it to change. So here again, you can't be selfish and think about what's best for you. What about those people? What about them? Think about your brothers and sisters of a different skin tone. Would you want to be treated that way? So again, that's the whole thing. And let me tell you something. That spirit is always going to be present in this world because there are a lot of people who choose to have a spirit of racism. A lot of people who choose to hate, whether you're black or white. A lot of people who choose just to do evil because they are selfish and looking for power, looking for things that cater to them, looking for things that benefit them. That's a spirit of selfishness, and it's rampant in this land, especially in this nation, but it's throughout the world. So I just wanted to share those things. Again, evaluate yourself where you are. It's always evaluating ourselves and to see, am I promoting selfishness or selflessness? So thanks. Hope you guys were able to get something out of this, what I'm sharing uh, in those scriptures when you go back and read those. So you guys have a great weekend, and I am going to call it a night. It's been a long day. Love you guys.